folks. Larry Rolla here. I think we're live. I hope we're live. Let me bring my friends on. Here's Joe.
Hello.
And there's Freddie. Okay, I think we're live. If I'm not live, we're not live. I hit a button by mistake, but I think
Hi, everyone.
I think we're good.
All right, Eddie. Yeah, Eddie just texted me. You know what happened with Eddie? He went to the doctor. They found a spot on his lungs. Unbelievable.
Oh boy.
So now he has to go for an MRI. Every phone call I got this week of disaster. The kid Sal Cartuccio, my friend Kurt Watson, his mother died the other day. What a Doris! What a lovely lady! Unbelievable. She went in. You know what happened to her? He was telling me she was in perfect health. They went in for a regular checkup, and they found one little calcium in blood. So they put a stent in. When they put the stent in, I think this is what he said, that they dislodged a piece of calcium and then fucking killed her. Unbelievable. Yeah. What a nice lady. Quiet lady. She married a friend of mine, Bob Seawack. They got along. They were together for, a long time. A really good guy, good lady. Freddie told me, I just sent my condolences. I'm not good at that stuff, especially when Kurt told me that her husband, my friend Bob, that he was crying.
I don't know what happened there, but I lost you guys for a second.
Yeah, you've been in and out. You're freezing. You're frozen.
Yeah.
So you're all screwed up. Freddie, I don't think you have good internet speed down there where you are, because you're freezing and you're frozen. But anyway, maybe it'll.
I'm like 5 feet from the. Yeah. I'm 5 feet from the source, but
you're like on delay, and your mouth moves.
You hear your voice, but your lips are not moving, and when your lips are moving, we don't hear you. And you're freezing every couple of seconds. But anyway, you'll straighten it out. But anyway, poor Doris, he called me up 2 days ago, and he says my mother's in the hospital. He told me what happened, and he says she won't make tomorrow. I said, what do you? How the hell could that be? And sure enough, the next day she died. Unbelievable.
Even Murray Basin passed away this week. And Frank Hartline died.
Yeah. Every phone call is a fucking disaster. Every phone call is a bad call.
Yeah. Those guys were good guys. And Frank was the leading trainer in '94 at Yonkers.
I always remember Burt Lang. Burt Lang was going in for a blood test, and he died like 5.
Freddie, we don't even hear you. We don't hear you. We heard one word out of that whole conversation, and your picture is frozen. So
okay.
you
want me to go in and try and come back in again?
Yeah. Try and do that, because this way is no good. You're frozen. So go out and come back. See what happens. Okay. That's terrible news about Eddie. Geez, that poor guy. Holy God.
Gotta figure that.
Now we got a spot on his lung.
When did they find this out, Larry?
He just sent me the text. I sent him a link. He sent me a text. He was coughing his brains out. He said couldn't stop coughing. He went to the doctor, and he says here, sorry, buddy, not feeling well. Doctor found spot on my lung, coughing a lot. Got to go for an MRI.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I spoke to him the other day. He didn't sound good. He was coughing a lot. I said, you don't sound good. You got the flu.
I'll tell you, I don't know. I go down to that barn, aside from it being 0 degrees out and the weather is nasty and everything else, it's damp as hell in there. He shouldn't be down there. He should he has a couple of good guys that are, help that he has.
Yeah.
He has good help down there. He just you don't have to be there. You don't have to be there. Just when the weather's really bad, stay home.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's a dedicated guy.
Yeah, but he's just stay home. You just tell the kid what to do. He has a couple of good guys down there. He has a girl down there, and two guys, the exercise rider, and they're all good. They're all really good friends with him and dedicated to him. You don't have to be down there. Just take care of yourself. Jesus.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, okay, there's Freddie. Let's see if Freddie comes back on here. All right. Any better?
Talk,
Can you hear
Fred.
me, Freddie? No better.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, but you're not moving. Your picture is frozen. I don't understand that, because if you're a couple of feet away from the tower there, whatever you call that thing,
I can try
your
it.
internet speed has to be high. If your internet speed is high, I don't know why this is happening to you, but something's not right. Because you're frozen now. Anyway, Joe, I spoke with Sal today.
Okay.
I called up Sal. He's just yesterday was the first day he started feeling a little better.
Yeah, I know he was sick.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, listen, I says, I've been doing a lot of research, sitting here thinking about all the bumps in the road that we may be facing with this cool cap. And I says, there is none. And I said, but I wrote the letter that I emailed you to the veterinarian.
Yeah.
And
very good.
Now you're on. Okay, now you're on my screen.
Okay.
Now I got to get you off.
But no, I gotta get to the other one. I gotta get to the other
One of them because it's making a racket here.
Okay.
You're an
I got rid of the other one, so.
Okay.
But it didn't leave. So,
Okay, it's on. Okay, the other one left.
Sounds better now.
Okay.
okay.
All right. So let me finish what I was telling Joe. So I spoke to Sal, and I said, Sal, I says, I wrote the email that I sent it to Freddie. I sent it to everybody, and in a nice way, it was telling the doctor that I'd like to have an appointment with him, and I wanted it, rather quickly, not in a month or 2 months or 3. That's why I put down that I'm going to California at the end of the month on business. I don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully he'd be able to meet with me, because all I need is like a half hour, an hour of his time.
Right.
And so I wrote the letter. I'm waiting to hear back from him. But if I says I'll give it a week. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call up Sandy Goldfarb, and I'm going to ask Sandy for his email address. I have his phone number. I'm going to ask him for his email address. I'm going to send him all the information that I sent you from before and this one I just sent. And
Right.
I'm going to tell him I've been working on this for a long time. I says, and a couple of our mutual friends are involved with this, and we're basically got to the point now where we're ready to launch this thing. And if you like what you see, I'd like to meet with you and talk about this further, because aside from what you're reading, we're going to wind up making our own blinkers. It's going to be totally everything is self-contained. Everything's going to be done plus in-house. Plus, I have 1 or 2 other products that I'd like to incorporate in this thing. And maybe we could make it big enough between the 2 other ideas I have, all to do with making a thoroughbred racehorse life a whole lot easier, not only for the horse, but for the trainer and the owner. And we could maybe create a company that we could take public. Who knows? If not, we could just we're going to be the only manufacturer. There's not another manufacturer in this country that makes blinkers. And then I can go into that whole thing, but not, in person. But first I'm going to say, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to call him up, ask for his email address. I'm going to send him that information. And because we don't need any approval from anybody. That's basically it. And there's nothing more that I have to do. There's nothing more. I mean, I have the package for the insurance. I got everything. I got everything ready to go. The only thing I really don't have is the finished product, because I need the machinery to make the finished product. And that's, and that's it. But I mean, I have prototypes that I've been using for testing and everything. But now we're either going to start our own company or we're not. And if we don't start our own company, it can't be done, because China is not going to make any adjustments unless they take over the whole thing. So anyway, I'm not going to go into it. It's just that I know what I have to do, and we're just gonna go forward from here.
Yeah, just ask Sandy his opinion on it. Tell him it's definitely going to work. And
what's good about Sandy, I think Freddie, you told me, I think he owns like 20, 30 thoroughbreds right now.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was like, I think he said like 50 or maybe more than that. But
and I didn't know this.
And he's on the board over there for the New York State Horsemen's Association. So
yeah, and also him and his friend paid for all the grooms quarters. They built all grooms quarters out of their own pocket for all the grooms at Belmont Park. Look who's here.
That was nice.
Trade Martin is here.
All right.
Hey, Trade.
Hey, Trade.
How you doing? Hi, man. How you doing?
So anyway, he's the right guy to talk to. So I'm gonna call him tomorrow and see what happens and take it from there. In the meantime, Sunday is video day. I have.
Right.
I cancel that whole video thing. I canceled it 3 times this week already. So I call up all my friends. I says, look, I can't get nobody. I'm not happy with the when I spoke to Wahlberg people. They says to me, what actors you got gonna do this thing? I says, it's only a 3-4 minute thing. Yeah, but what actors you got doing it? I says, I don't have any actors. I says, I got my friends out off the street. He says, look, do yourself a favor. If this is not good, and if it's not done professionally, and it's if the people you got playing it don't do a good, don't send it. It's only going to hurt you, not help you.
Yeah.
So I ended the whole thing. So I called up everybody and I says, well, I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm just going to end it. So I call up Jimmy, because I was going to pick up Jimmy. Jimmy is Juicy's friend, and Jimmy spent 7, 8, 10 years in jail. He ran all the unions in here. After Cabert went to jail, Jimmy basically took over. So I call up Jimmy, and I was going to use Jimmy like as an advisor. He was the guy that did the first 10, 15 podcasts with me.
Right.
And he's a good friend. And his father's a good friend of mine. His father just got out of jail after 45 years. So anyway, I call him up. I says, I'm canceling that thing. I won't be picking you up. He says, why are you canceling? I says, because the guy that I got to play Cabert, he's not an actor. He's an ex-detective. I don't like it. I don't like the way he's doing it. I don't like the way it's not the same. He says, well, I'll do it. And I says, no, Jimmy. I says, look, I already canceled it. He says, pick me up. I'll do it. So I get a hold of Tom, who's going to film the thing. And I says, come to my house. I want you to see, because I already told him I wasn't going to do it. So he comes to the house and Jimmy comes over. And I says, here, these are the lines you have to say. It's like one whole big paragraph and then 1 or 2 other lines. And he sits there and Tom knows him because he did the first 10 or 15 podcasts with me. So he knows them and they're friends. And the best part is, and I didn't even think about this. The best part is he grew up on Cabert's knee. I mean, he grew up with between him and his father. And then when Cabert and them went to jail, he took over the unions and the whole mob thing in New Jersey. So he comes over. Now, I already bought a table, a round table. I got all the props and everything. So I set everything up. I says, I'm going to give you the best chance to
convince you,
impress me. Here's all the props. Here's the table and everything else. So he says, first of all, get rid of this fucking white and black tablecloth.
Gotta be white and red.
No, that's it. Is white and red. He says, just get rid of that. And he's right. I know all the Italian restaurants have it, but get. So anyway, then he goes into his fucking thing, and it was good. It was really good. So now it's back on. So now I called everybody back, and the guy that I was going to play Sammy, and they were going to alter my voice because I did the voiceover. So now Vito calls me, the guy who says I'm not going to do it no more because he wasn't good enough. It was forced. It wasn't.
Right.
So he says, you mind if I stop over? So I says, no. So I says, in fact, you know what? Read the lines for Sammy, because Sammy only has one line. When Cabert says, when Cabert says to me, tell me why I shouldn't blow your fucking head off and throw you, and I say, because I could pay. And Cabert looks at me like for about 10 seconds, just stares at me. Then he looks at Sammy and he starts laughing. He says, did you hear what this fucking kid said? He could pay. So the only line Sammy has is that, yeah, Bobby, because they used to call him Bobby, not Caberto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bobby, I heard him. He says, if you want my opinion, we got $1 million of his money. He showed up every fucking week. He never missed a week. And he's in big action. He controls a lot of races around here. So if you're asking me, my opinion, I give him a shot. I think he could pay. So that's all the lines. That's all the lines Sammy has, except in the beginning. In the very beginning, when we walk in the door, Sammy says to me, remember, don't say nothing stupid, because he'll fucking leave you right there. And if there's anything I can do to help you, I'll help you. Just keep your fucking mouth shut. And that's the only lines that he has. And the only lines that Manny has, who's playing me, is, I understand. And then we're going to eliminate the gun part, because even though I have the gun and everything else, Jimmy told me that Cabert never carried a gun with him, and it basically would be overkill, and it would be, because when he says to me, when Sammy says, if you want to leave it up to me, I'd give him a shot. He, $1 million of his money, and he showed up every week, and he controls a lot of races around here. So if you're asking me if I think he can pay, I got to say yeah. And then at that point, according to the script that I wrote, Jimmy has it right in front of him. He never saw it. He stares at me. And then he says, he gets up. He gets up, not standing up, gets up like half over the table, like he's going to come at me. All right, you could pay. All right, you're going to get a pass today. Not for the 360. The pass is for showing up. The 360, you're paying 2 points a week till you give me my 360 back. You got it? And the only part Manny has to say in my part is, I got it. I understand. Do you got it? You understand what the fuck I'm saying? I got it. I understand. So that's it. So the whole thing is Cabert. And Jimmy did it really well. So it's back on again.
Good.
So the only thing I have to do is change the tablecloth, and
the gun is overkill, but that's not necessary.
Yeah. So I put the gun back in the case, and it's back in my.
Why did he think the tablecloth was no good? Did he give you a
Well,
reason?
he's right, and him and they said it together. And you know what's right, because the whole thing, as far as visual goes, sure, it's taken place in the 70s, and sure, it's taken place in an Italian coffee shop, and sure, all the tablecloths back then were red and white. I understand all of that, but this is going to take place in the middle of the fucking winter, in the morning. The place is going to be all dark. Just the only place that's going to be lit up is right around the round table that they're going to be at, and when we put the lights around it and everything else, the fucking thing just not like the whole tablecloth like lit up.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
It's a plastic tablecloth.
What?
You got a plastic tablecloth?
No, I got a plastic. Then I changed it to
because the plastic would be no good.
No, the cloth was no good neither. It's just too
Really?
bright.
Okay.
So now I got a dark gray one. I got white demi-tasse cups. I got the white ashtray. I got the, so now everything is good. Visually, it's a lot better.
Okay.
In real life, it was a red and white. But in real life, we were on a fucking boat, not at the table.
Right.
So whatever. So anyway, it's back on again. We're gonna shoot it on Sunday. And Peter, I told Peter Guarino, the actor, he's gonna be sitting right next to Cabert, and he's the bad guy. He's the guy. I mean, he looks the part too. He's in all these, all the Soprano stuff and all that stuff.
Right.
And that's what he does. He's one of the lines are when Cabert says to me, that's 7,200 a week, every fucking week until I get my 360. You miss one fucking week, and this will be the last face you see. And he points to Peter. And Peter's sitting there. Peter's a nasty looking guy. And you just know this will be the last face you see.
Peter's your Luca Brasi.
Yeah, and that's it. So we're gonna do it, and I got a couple of big shots waiting to see it. And if they turn it down, then I'm just gonna try to raise a couple of million and do it myself. I already got the guy to do it for me. I got distribute. I got everything, and everything I'm involved with. I have everything ready to go. I went as far as I could go. And this is just because we're going to give Mark Wahlberg is out of town, but his one of his partners in his company is in town, and the person that's going to take it to him is that I'm giving it to them because I know nobody reads, and they keep changing it anyway. Years ago, they wanted the screenplay, then they wanted a synopsis. Then they wanted a 10-page synopsis, then a 5-page, then a 4-page, then a 1-page, then a paragraph. And they change it every fucking year. They change it and they change it and they change it. And then you got to grab them out of the first sentence that you say. You better grab them, otherwise I'll throw it in the garbage bin. This way I make a 3-minute video, 4-minute video. It's probably 3 minutes of dialogue, which will tell the whole story. And that's it. And then if I don't get a response, real quick, then I'm just going to try to raise the money, and that's it. So anyway, that's basically it. Now, let's see.
You don't have any union problems with that, Larry, at all?
What's that?
Any Screen Actors Guild union problems with that?
No, because I'm not using any actors. The reason I'm not using the actors is because they all come up with the same thing. Well, I'm a member of SAG. I have a SAG card. You're going to, and it's true. Based on SAG rules, they're not supposed to do anything. But this is a no budget thing. They wouldn't even bother it. But then the other question is, well, all right, if I do this for you, and this works, will I be?
You want to be in the movie? They want to be in the movie.
I can guarantee him that if I raise the money myself to make the movie, I'll find a part for everybody. But if Mark Wahlberg or somebody else takes it over, they own it. I got no say. You know, I wouldn't give a fuck if Donald Duck played me. Just give me the money, you know.
Right.
But so I couldn't. So I just got together with all my friends, and the only guy I thought that would be able to do it is this guy Vito, who was an ex-detective. He interrogated 1 million guys, and I thought for sure he would do it. But I met with him once, and he just. You know, you gotta have it in you, and he was reading it, and you know, it just wasn't.
It wasn't natural.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. And then, but I was gonna give him a chance, and I says, okay, come over Sunday, and he says, okay, and I told him, I says, this Sunday, if you don't convince me, you have to understand that this is not my business. The movie business. It's not my business, but I only know what I like. I like Frank Sinatra. I don't give a fuck that he sings out of tune sometimes. I like it. I like guys like Jimmy Christie. He sings out of tune all. I like him. I like the way he sings. I like Trade Martin. I don't give a fuck that he goes one
yeah,
song.
But I don't sing, Larry. I don't sing out of tune though.
No.
But
I like what I like. And if you and when you're around wise guys your whole fucking life, you know how they act, you know how they talk, and you even know when somebody is like a wannabe,
a legit or a bullshit.
There yet. So come back in 10 years. You know, you're not there yet. So you know all of that. And
it got to be natural. If anybody do it, they got to be in the street.
It's got to be natural. And
they got to know.
Not only did Jimmy do it in his whole life, he did it when he controlled the unions. I mean, he went up against these guys. You know,
Jimmy understands for sure.
Yeah, he understands, and he did a hell of a job. And for me to change my mind, because I already made up my mind, I wasn't going to do it. And so now Peter calls me up and he's ready to go. He says, "Oh, I'm doing it," because I didn't want him. So anyway, he's gonna come in.
All right, so do it and see what happens.
Yeah,
got nothing to lose.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. So anyway,
hey Larry, talk about singers. Have you seen Chris Martino or heard from Chris Martino at all? Because a number of months ago, I did hear from him.
Chris Martino, that's the guy.
Sings great stuff. Great singer.
Great, probably Italian. One of the best singers in New Jersey, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And he sings all. And he went to Nashville for a couple of years to try to make it. He did a whole album of country western songs, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah, but they weren't that good. Chris is a nice guy and everything, but he's not really a writer. He's not really a good writer.
But he's a great
good singer though. Yeah, he's a hell of a singer.
And he sang Italian songs just
unbelievable.
Great, like Jimmy Roselli. You know, he knew the dialogue perfect. He was really good. I heard from his son years ago that he wasn't doing well because
remember we went to see him. Remember we went to see him a number of years ago. You, me, and we were together with a couple of people.
Maybe me, you, and Juicy. Because I know I took Juicy to sing them.
I don't know who was there with us, but we went to it was on Route 9, the place.
Right. That restaurant on Route 9. Yeah. He was playing there. Yeah. He was really good, but I heard from his son that he wasn't doing well.
No, he was on oxygen when I took him.
Really?
What a shame.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Mario Lanza?
Oh, he's a great singer, Mario Lanza. Are you kidding?
Well, my father listened to him all the time. My father loved music. That's where I got it from. Yeah. And he always had Caruso and Lanza on, but I didn't know anything about opera, and I used to listen to Mario Lanza and Caruso. Mario Lanza better because the only records he had of Caruso, they were all scratched up and everything. Yeah. But Lanza come out with new ones. He got the new ones, but as soon as I heard Sinatra, I stopped with all the opera, and I went with the Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Dean Martin, and all.
I'll tell you, Jimmy Roselli was a great singer.
Yeah.
He was really a great singer.
Do you know that I went to see Jimmy Roselli at Atlantic City? He had a gig down there. They used to the Bally's. I think it was at Bally's. And after the show, he wasn't going to do it anymore. I think every year they gave him a couple of $100,000, I think, to do 1 or 2 shows. I forgot. He wanted to sell me his whole library for $3 million. And I didn't, it's not my business. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't have $3 million. And second of all, I didn't know if it was worth it or not. I don't know any. I didn't know if he owned the songs, if he owned whatever. But he
didn't own the songs. That really wasn't worth that much. No, he's out of his mind. Jimmy was a nice guy. The first thing he said to me when I met him, he goes, "Hey, Trey, when are you going to use me on your next commercial?" He was like a wise guy, Jimmy.
Yeah. He used to hang out at Mott's.
Mott's down, in Hoboken.
That Mott's is Marty Casella. And Marty Casella owned a bar where we used to go to after Freehold. And that bar is where they were talking about, it was bugged. And they were talking about killing Gotti. That was in Marty's, in Mott's place. And we were at the bar and they were at the table in the back. And that was bugged, and that's how they all got in trouble for that. That's when they all wind up going to jail. And Mott's was great. He had horses in Freehold with oh God, what the hell's his name? That Italian.
Ralph Morano?
No, not with Ralph. With oh God, I forgot his name. I forgot his name.
Because Ralph was involved with those guys, too,
Oh yeah, I know. But Mott's was a really nice guy. He always show up at Freehold with a suit and tie, his little top hat. A little short guy, but dangerous, but a good guy. Really, really nice guy. But we used to go there, and that was the place where they caught. They caught them making plans to kill Gotti.
Oh, you used to have the horses with Gagliotti. Didn't he have horses with Gagliotti?
He had them with, not with Gagliotti. It was with this trainer. What the hell? Steve, the trainer had a young son that was in the business called Steve, I forgot the last name. But that's who trained for Mott's.
Uh-huh.
Oh God, Steve. Oh, I can't remember, but that's who trained for Mott's. But Mott's would come in the dining room, and he'd come with a couple of his guys. He was a really look. All of them guys, all of them top guys. Maybe they were all really nice,
Classy.
really good guys.
That's
nice. Never have a problem. Anyway, let me put this up before I pass by again. Here it is. You want to talk about this, Freddie?
Sure. We've now started the production of the Meadowlands Drivers Tribute. And so I got to it basically works if each driver gets a slide. And so I got a bunch of the slides done already. Johnny Campbell's done. And there's a lot of things that I found out when I started doing this. Like, do you guys know who the leading percentage driver for wins was the first meet 1976 at the Meadowlands?
Ray Remen?
No.
I don't know.
Carmine Abatello.
Really? Wow.
Really?
Yeah. He had a 20.9% win average. And so he was the leading driver at the Meadowlands for the first meet. And I didn't know that until I put this together.
I didn't know that either.
And so as the slides go along, I have the money winners. Well, most of the dash winners were the same money winners. And so that was pretty easy to put together. I think Johnny Campbell has won 16 driving titles for dashes and 17 for money, which these are just some of the things that I found out. And it's just kind of real interesting. As I'm putting this together, I'm learning the history, the history of the Meadowlands. And so it's coming along pretty good. I basically announced it today that we're looking for sponsors, and I had 5 sponsors come in today. So that's pretty good.
50 years already. Can you believe it? The Meadowlands opened 50 years
ago.
ago.
50 years.
And
it's just really really amazing. And so what's going to happen with this is I'm putting the dash winners, the money winners together, and they get like a little write up their picture, and then it's going to go into most of the drivers that had raced there with their pictures. And if I can put some of their stats up, I will. But there's probably going to be about 100 pictures of 100 drivers. I haven't selected all the drivers out yet, and then I'm going to add the top. There's like top 6 female drivers that have raced at the Meadowlands, and I'm going to add some of the amateur drivers that have raced there. So it's going to flow along pretty good, and I'm pretty pleased with the way that it looks so far. And anyone who wishes to become a sponsor, ustrots.com, and follow the links.
Good.
Okay. Now, what about Freddie? What about the drivers? What about that? Because Joe keeps asking me about the reunion.
Yeah. You had said January.
What about the what drivers?
2 months back.
The
Meadowlands reunion. The reunion.
Okay, the reunion has been pushed back to March 28th. And so we're working out the details. Judy Bachman from the Standardbred Retirement Foundation is working on it. We basically backed off on doing anything in December because everyone was just so busy with the holidays. And so we basically start back on it now. The date looks like it's going to be March 28th, which is a Saturday night. Judy is negotiating with the Meadowlands. The pricing that they want is just astronomical. And so that has put a zinger in here. And so we're working that out at this particular point. But Judy is doing the negotiating on that.
Is it going to be at the Meadowlands?
We think so, but it's going to depend on the pricing. If it's at the current pricing, it's not worth it. We'll have to find another place. It's just we could do it at.
Want to have that there? Why would they charge you so high?
Well, they're just going with their standard rates, I guess. I think and don't hold this to me, but I think that they wanted $84 per person, and this is just for the buffet. And then it's like another $1,000 for the room, which is one of the skyboxes up there. And then they won't do a cash bar. So if we do a bar, someone has to sponsor it, and then they have to pay for that at the end of the night. And so the cost factor is just extremely high. So Judy's working on it, and so she is in charge of that, and she is working on it. And
they won't do a cash bar. They won't do a cash bar.
They will not do a cash bar.
That's strange, isn't it?
And the last one we did, the bar was included. And when we did it at the Landmark, which was in 2009, they had a cash bar there, and that worked out pretty well. So, and I know that now Joe Rico, he said he'll sponsor something, but he's not going to sponsor a cash bar. He's not going to sponsor an open bar for a bunch of horsemen.
For sure.
They go to the cleaners.
But like I did tell Joe, I said, a lot of these guys are now up in their 90s, so we may not be drinking as much as we did when we were in our 20s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but they'd still put them away.
But no, anyone who wants to sponsor, ustrots.com, and I think this is going to be a great tribute and a great video. It's really, really coming along, and I'm waiting for trade with the Meadowlands song.
Yeah, I'm going to work on it. I promise.
Yeah, at the Meadowlands Raceway, where it is today.
Yes.
Come on, Trade. Put some music in here.
Almost defunct. I know. Yeah. I raced. Joe DeFrank was in the winner's circle with me, and I raced there. I think it was the day before they were opening up for. It was either before the races, the first day they opened, or a day before the day they opened. I raced a JM special, a trotter there. I didn't do any good. I didn't make a break, but I didn't do any good with the horse, but I raced there. It was one of those fair races that they had at the Meadowlands. But Joe was there. I remember Joe.
Well, I remember, like, we all know that Ray Remond won the first parimutuel race at the Meadowlands, but before the parimutuel racing, they had qualifiers, and I think Mike Gagliardi won the first qualifier there. I'm not 100% sure, but I read that someplace.
Ray Remond won the first Hamiltonian also.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shy away St. Pat.
Yep.
Gary D 210 says Larry, Walter Case, and Dan Noble were honored at Northville Park for only 2 drivers win 10 races on a single card 2 times each. Walter Case was there. Wow. So Walter Case was there. That means he must be all right.
That's good news.
Yeah, I heard that he was in pretty bad shape.
And
I heard that he was coming back driving very soon. So
I hope so.
Yeah, I did hear that. So
I heard Carmine's doing a little better too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to Eric in a few weeks, but I'll get up with him.
Yeah,
so.
I spoke to Mike LaChance a couple of days ago, and he told me he was going to get his Eric's number for me. I wanted to give him a call. But
what's Eric doing? He's not racing? Yeah. Eric's not racing at all?
Is that I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, I think Eric is really taking care of his parents right now, and he just totally backed off from racing at this point.
Oh,
he's taking care of his mom and dad. So Marie and Caroline. So
that's nice. The son should do that. I did that, and I think his son should do that. Yeah.
And I mean, he's been taking Carmine to Sloan Kettering, like pretty much. I'm just going to say at least once a week.
Yeah, I see
Sloan Kethering's one of the top cancer centers in the country. So
yeah,
not a shame. I just went briefly through the comments, and it went back so far to being a social club. Everybody says hello to everybody, and everybody on there said hello.
Go tell everybody we say hello too.
So, and I just want to say this: this Thursday, I'm almost positive that Greg Pegg straightened out Ronnie Pierce's equipment up there, and Ronnie Pierce and Billy O'Donnell and Greg will be on this Thursday night.
Good.
Thursday night, yeah, and it was good last time, but Ronnie Pierce, half the show was he was freezing and blacking out and everything, but I think they got all that fixed, so it'll be a good show.
That would have been
that might have been a normal interview for him.
Yeah, well, that was a bad night over here, and imagine where he was 2-3 hours away up in the mountains. The winds, I think he said the winds were going 60, 70 miles an hour, and he kept blacking out. Anyway.
Where was he at, Larry?
Oh, they told me. I forgot.
Montana? Okay. Yeah. I know he was up in Alaska for a while, and I thought Colorado, so.
Okay, let's see what Joe says. Joe says big name to play Cabert would make it go viral. Joe Pesci, Mickey Rourke, Billy Joel. Okay. Forget about Joe Pesci. He's all done. Mickey Rourke is all done, and Billy Joel's all done. So no. If I make the movie myself, I already shook his hand that he's going to play Cabert. And we just extend this part to go throughout the whole movie.
That's the guy, Amandesante.
So yeah, because he said, of all the guys I met, and I met a lot of them. I spent 3-4 years in California, and during them years, I met a lot of guys. And I have to tell you, Amandesante is the most down to earth guy that I ever met in that business. Just a really good, down to earth guy.
Yeah.
And he would be perfect to play Cabert, just the way he played. He plays that part good. He has all the mannerisms. He has everything.
He's a great actor, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, and he agreed to play it. So if I get the money myself, he's He's the guy. Then I got to get somebody to play me. I have 4 or 5 guys in mind that are going to play me. But the guys I have in mind that are going to play me, they're all $15-20 million a picture guys. You know, they're the young hotshots of today. They got to be in their 30s, and they got to be a main draw for overseas sales. Unless I go the route where I'm thinking of going with a couple of million, because then my friend Kevin, he has his own distributors overseas, and I won't need that big superstar guy. But the reason I want Mark Wahlberg is because this really has to be a series. It should be a series. So we'll see. We'll see. This is going to be the year This is going to be the year that all of this stuff is going to come to an end, either because it got done or because I just put it back in a drawer and bought a rocking chair and sit
This
down.
is the make it or break it year.
Yeah, that's it. I'm tired of. I'm just tired. I'm tired of fighting. Finally, I was able to get rid of. I don't know how the hell you do it, Joe. I take enough of them pills. Well, I take what's prescribed, so I can manage the pain. If you see me always going like this, it's because
I know why.
It's tough.
Do you want to relieve the pain?
They make me so tired. Geez, it's hard for me to function. I'm like a high-powered guy. I'm always, and now the minute I sit down, I want to fall asleep.
Yeah, they do make you tired.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question for Eddie. Freddie, who would be the top 6 female drivers? Wow.
Well, we got Joanne Looney in there. We got two Laurens in there. Lauren Tilton, Jackie and Gracia, and there's 2 others, and like Hannah Miller. I have her in there also. I do have 6. I have them written down. I have 6 of them picked out right now. I do have them written down.
Right?
Not for the Meadowlands.
Oh, only for Meadowlands. Okay.
Meadowlands, and so.
What about Bonnie Cox? Was she a driver?
I think she was more of a trainer, wasn't she?
Trainer? I don't remember. It's a while back.
I don't remember her driving. I don't remember her driving at the Meadowlands. I remember her with Richie Parcells up in Monticello. But,
right. What about
I don't
Kelly
remember
Case?
down at.
Did Kelly Case drive there?
I don't think so. So I sort of tried to pick out the top ones that I did come up with 6. So, and we've mentioned most of them.
Yeah.
Lauren Hannon, and Lauren Trilton is doing really great right now. Joanne Looney, Jacqueline and Gracia, Hannah Miller, and I have one other. I just can't think of the name right now. So, but those will be the 6 females. It might be. I might add another one if someone mentions his one and sends one in. And then the amateur drivers. Charles Lungo had sent me 10 of them that he considers like the top 10 drivers that amateur drivers, and so I'm going to add them in there. And that part I still haven't designed yet, but I'm working on those 2 sections. I have the slide sections already pretty much done, and then the next portion of it, if you saw the Roosevelt Raceway drivers tribute, I'm going to add something like that towards the end of it, which will just have a lot of pictures of a lot of drivers who raced at the Meadowlands. And I know I'm going to miss a lot because there's been like a lot of drivers that raced at the Meadowlands, and it'd be really hard to cover every one of them.
Can't. Impossible.
Yeah. But it's coming along really good. And yeah, and I'm getting an education on it also. I'm just learning, like, as I'm doing the driver slides, the lead-in drivers, I'm sort of putting down how many driving titles they've won, dashes and cash-wise. And then I'm also putting down 3 major races of how many wins they've had in 3 major races, which were the Hamiltonian, the Meadowlands Pace, and the Woodrow Wilson were the 3 races that I picked out. So that's coming along pretty good. Then the first slide is going to be with Buddy Gilmore, followed by Benny Webster, Teddy Wing, and then I think Johnny Campbell comes in fourth. So,
Mhm.
and Johnny, he's had a tremendous career over there. I mean, in 24 years, he was never worse than he was either first or second in money and dashes.
Right.
Yeah,
24 straight years.
he did great. Yeah, I know. He did great.
And then I got the new guys added in there too. I got Brett Beckworth in there, and I had John Cope has contacted me today. Hey, what about Jackie Bowe? Told him Jackie Bowe's in there. So.
Yeah, about Yannick Gingrich
Yannick's
and Dan Dubé.
I didn't have Dan in there, but I will add him. I have Yannick in there. So
Yeah, Dan was always the top 4 or 5 over there.
yeah, and I gotta get Gagliardi in. And there's a really strong group of drivers that are great drivers that never won a driving title at the Meadowlands. Like Cat Nancy, he never won a driving title there, but he's
That's
always
a tough
been
thing
in
to
it.
do.
But he has won a percentage title or two. So it's sort of like trying to balance it out and put them in there. Doherty, Remen, they never won the dash winning titles or the money titles, but they were third, fourth, or fifth for like 20 years or whatever. So it's a whole educational process, and I'm working on it right now, and it's coming along really good. It's moving faster than I anticipated, which is really good. So it won't take as long as the O'Donnell one. I guarantee it. That was like stretched out for 3 months.
Or you had some technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, no internet was a killer. So.
And then you spilled something on your computer or something, right?
Yep.
Well, what was the problem just now? You just switched to your phone. What was the problem with the computer you had now?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It just wasn't coming in. It was blinking in, blinking out. 3 feet from where the routers, where the modem's at, and the router, and it should be perfect. And it's just not. So I just switched to the phone, and the phone's working perfect. I think it's this Verizon. I think Verizon. We're using Verizon over here, and from what someone has told me is that their tower is like 20 miles away, and so it could be affecting the signal. So, but as far as I see right now, like even the TVs over here go in and out, and they start going into that circular thing. So.
Where are you living, Fred?
We're in Stafford, Virginia right now.
Virginia.
Yeah, a little south of Washington, D.C.
All right, Steve Basile says, Larry, see if you can get Santarama back on for an encore with a sidekick Marone. That was a classic. Yeah, right. We can get him back on.
Yeah, I spoke to him the other day. He had a little issue, but I think he's all right.
Yeah, we can get him back on.
That's Andy Santarama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah. One day, many years ago, about mid-70s, he went out into a field, had a red jacket on, and was trying to taunt a bull.
Andy?
Yeah.
He's a nut.
Did he? Did he taunt him?
Yeah, he was trying to get the bull to charge him, waving his red jacket at him.
Okay, Jack Joseph also says B. Farber. Are you talking about B. Farber? Did she ever race in Meadowlands?
I don't think so.
I don't think so neither.
Yeah, that's who I mentioned before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Can you say hi, Jamie?
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Oh, somebody sent me a thing today, and I think it was this guy here. And I think he said his son, because the next one here says he loves your videos. And he said, let me find it right here. Yeah, that's it. He says the guy, oh, you can't see it. Yeah, there's the guy there. There's me and his son. That's his son. He took a picture, a selfie of him standing in front of me on the screen.
We could see you, but not him.
Yeah, he says he's buddies with Greg Peck and O'Donnell. Well, hello. Thanks for tuning in. And if you ever want to come on the show, just send me your email address and I'll send you a link and you can come on. Okay, let's see. Here's a question for Freddie. Would you have a special tribute for those drivers who have passed away? You know, so let me just butt in here for a second because I was the one that started it and I don't want to say too much about it. I was the one that told Freddie, I think it would be great that if we did some tributes to the guys in the Hall of Fame that are still alive today, that their whole life they gave to racing. It's a tough now a lot of them are just sitting home doing nothing, and it would be great to pay tribute to guys like Catello Manzi and O'Donnell and all of them guys. Mm-hmm. And then I said, but Freddie, you can't keep doing it for nothing. Now I know I'm repeating myself like I did a million times. So I says, Freddie, we're going to ask for donations so you don't have to do it for free. So we started asking for donations, and I did it, and I promoted it. But after the second or third time, I felt like a beggar because it was the same people giving the same donations every week. And well, this, obviously, we don't have a million. It's the same people come on every night. It's just a bunch of friends and everything else. And look, by now everybody knows, and the ones that contribute are the same ones every week. And I didn't want to come on and keep. So I says, Freddie, I'm not gonna do it no more. And I don't want you to do these tributes because you're doing them for free, and it's not right. So you want to do them, you do them, but I'm not gonna, And that's why I haven't mentioned it anymore. And sure enough, he's doing it. He's doing it. So I only hope that you guys that contribute because everything he's doing for free, his own dime, and it's not right. Because in this whole business, I don't know one other person that has a job that's trying to save the horse business that's not getting a big salary. And I can name them if you want.
That's for sure.
And I can also name the only guy that does it that's not getting a salary and does it on his own dime, and that's Freddie Hudson. So I'm only going to say this one time. He's going to keep doing it, so just keep contributing to him. And I'm not going to mention it anymore because I don't want people to think, well, look, I don't want no money. I don't want no contributions for the show. I don't need any money. I don't want any money. But if you want, contribute to Freddie so he can keep doing these things. And I'm sure that one of these days he'll answer your question, Eric. Do a special tribute to those drivers who have passed away.
What I'm gonna tell him is take a look at the Roosevelt Raceway driver tribute. Many of the drivers in that video have passed away, and we have some of the greatest drivers in the sport in that video. And I did that one about, what was it, Trade? We did that one about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's a while ago. Yeah.
And we have over 20,000 views on it, which is pretty good for harness racing. So
I remember speaking to Danny.
That worked for Marvin Proman, something Dave Tovin or something. Young kid worked for in the 60s, I think.
Yeah, I remember Dave Tovin.
He died really young.
Yeah.
What a nice kid he was. And then it goes on and on and on.
I was in the 70s, Larry.
That guy, that Canadian kid that comes from Canada, I forgot his name. Really nice guy. Young guy died. Another one.
Bobby Sampson.
No, him too. He died up. Yeah, but no, it was another French kid that came. I think he come to Monticello first. Really nice guy.
Shelley Goudreau.
I mean, Jesus Christ, he just wouldn't go to the doctor. He got all busted up. He just wouldn't go to the doctor. He wound up dying.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to die. I think he had a broken ribs that went into his lungs.
He died of internal bleeding.
Yeah.
Right.
He bled out in the middle of the night. That was at Yonkers Raceway, right?
Unbelievable.
I thought he had left Yonkers. I thought it was up in Canada, but I'm not 100% sure. But
no, that was Shelley Goudreau in Canada.
Bergeron, wasn't there a was that
Maurice Bergeron?
Bergeron, he was the one, the Canadian that died that died young. I'm almost positive that's his name. a lot of young guys. And then that one year, I think 5 drivers, harness guys from Houghton to Goodrow, all died, got their heads split.
David Dunkley.
Yeah.
I was the first one on the track when David Dunkley went down.
Yeah.
And it was a horrible scene. It happened in the second turn. We were all sitting on the fence at Roosevelt. And it was the most horrible thing I've seen. His brain was on the track. We used to put towels under the saddle pads at that time. And his head was split, and we put the towel inside his head like this, just to try to do something, but he was gone. We didn't know what to do. It was like horrible. And back then, those cheap helmets, you could break them. They were like, toy helmets.
Yeah.
That was terrible. What a night that was.
That's a shame. I spoke to Benny a number of years ago, and I asked Benny, because I was thinking of doing a song. Well, I don't like doing parodies, but it would have been Ghost Drivers in the Sky instead of Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Oh, yeah. That's a great song.
Yeah, and it would have been about guys that had passed on.
Right.
Drivers that had passed on.
Man.
Ghost.
That was a Frankie Lane song, right? Frankie Lane song?
Yeah. Ghost Riders in the Sky. Yeah, that was
they did that at the Johnny Cash tribute. Willie Nelson was in, and Waylon Jennings, and a couple other guys.
Well, Trade. We had Benny on the show right before he passed away. And I think it was like about 3 months before he passed away, or maybe 4 months, something like that.
Yeah.
And like what I always remember, I think one of us asked the question, what do you think of the drivers? How would you handle? How would you race with the drivers today? And Benny says they have no contest. No contest.
Oh, no contest at all. Yeah.
That was kind of funny. John Payton was on with us on that one.
Said, "Let's go." We said, Benny, let's go. He said, "Where are we going?"
Yeah.
John Payton. John Payton owns Golden Blossom Honey.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And if you look at the jars, it says it has his
John
name right
Payton.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his grandfather was John Payton, his father was John Payton, and he's John Payton. So.
Right. It was just JON.
Yep.
Yeah. John Payton, Golden Blossom Honey. That's
amazing. I used to see him on the track in the middle of the winter time, freezing
purple and white cars.
In the meantime, he's probably worth millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, he was
out on the racetrack, freezing his ass off. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Bob Hunt used to train from them. Remember, Bob Hunt was the second trainer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, the years go by, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're moving along quick.
50 years already. I remember the first night they opened, we had to park on the turnpike and walk in because we couldn't get in. We parked on the side of exit 16. And that's where we had to park, yeah.
Wow.
It was wild. I just graduated high school.
Yeah, we didn't race. We didn't race at the Meadowlands the first night, but we raced. I think we sent like Attishai over to race on Friday or Saturday night, the first week that they raced. I think we finished third. Yeah, I think we finished third with him, and then we moved 13 head over, and then we brought 17 more in. We had to get stalls over there, and I ended up. I had 33 horses over there, a barn and a half. So
wow. Dallas passed away, right?
No, he's still alive. He's out. He's
I guess he's 90, like,
oh my gosh, he's 95 at this particular point.
Wow.
He said he's not leaving us until he hits 100. So
he still got a toothpick in his mouth.
Probably. Probably soaked in Doers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, ain't there nobody we can talk about?
Well, we're going to get trade talking in a second.
I think
Listen,
I saw on Facebook.
I like to listen to you guys, you know. So I don't want to be. I used to do my own show. I did so many shows that I just like to listen to you guys because I'm only a guest, so I don't want to like overcome like start talking.
We're
like
all
I'm
guest. Everybody's a
control.
guest.
Cool.
Even
Yeah.
Larry's a guest.
What's that, Larry?
Larry, what? This is this the Halloween show?
No, I was just looking for something, but I'm not going to look for it. I saw something that would have been very interesting, but I can't find it. It was about Mike Gagliotti. Somebody wrote that. I think it was today, so many years ago that he passed away, that he died. I remember the day that he came back from the witness protection program, and it was sad. You know, there's so many sad stories in I guess in life in general, but the game that all of us who've been in for so long, there's so many stories. I mean, if you took Mike Gagliotti and Benny Webster and Joe Guarino and Larry Rolla, and I can go on and on and on and on. That would be the biggest, longest running, best rated television series ever. The stories that you could tell about Mike Gagliotti were unbelievable. I can't tell them because nobody would believe them. They just wouldn't believe it. And I know very intimate stories about Mike. We were very, very close.
Well, he worked for you, didn't he? Work for you, Larry?
Well, when he was just a kid, I think he was 16 years old.
Yeah.
I forget the guy sent him up to Monticello with one or two horses. He was only a kid. And I signed for his license. Well, he used to take paddocks from me all the time. And then when he wound up getting his license, I gave him his first. The horses he used to take to the paddock for me were the horses I gave him as a going away gift when he got his license and he left for Rockingham. I gave him that. But his story after that was such a phenomenal story. It's amazing. It's amazing. And nobody would believe it. They know one side of Mike. Mike was totally dedicated to the horse business. He loved it. It was like he was born to do what he did. He was very, very, very good at it. An excellent driver, an excellent trainer, very, very sharp guy. Really, really. You can't imagine.
Yep.
And the things that he'd get himself into, the situations that he got himself into, it was unbelievable. And the people he got himself involved with, from Beltrami, whose son now contacted me when I first started this podcast, but his son, Beltrami's son, is a judge. I think I got it right. He's a judge. And I asked him to come on the show and talk about his father, who Beltrami owned all. It was a very wealthy guy, owned all the coal wells in Monticello and up in Pennsylvania, and he had his own jet helicopter, and he had this big guy Dizzy as the guy who sold him the dynamite to blow up the mountains. And I mean, he had a crew. Gagliotti had a crew around him that could probably that if they lived in Ukraine, the war would be over in the day against Russia. That's how that crew was. They were unbelievable. And then when his daughter used to go out with the kid that used to work for me and my good friend today, Carl D'Angelillo. His daughter used to go. Mike's sister used to go out with him, and then she met the mob guy, and Tommy Riccardi, and that's when that whole thing happened, and that's when 5 o'clock in the morning, 100 agents surrounded the house, scooped everybody up, and they put Mike in the witness protection program, along with Tommy and his sister and his mother, and they scooped him away. And a year later, Mike showed up. I says, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "I can't stay." I forgot where he told me he was. "I can't stay there." And he wanted to come back. He wanted to come back driving. And it was sad. It was sad. And very few people gave him a shot. Come back. Very few people, helped him. It was sad. He was basically, from a guy that was one of the leading trainers at the Meadowlands, he got himself, and it wasn't even him, but he got himself involved. He was always involved with, from the time he bought the farm. The farm was, the farm was owned by, it was under Sammy Davis Jr.'s name, but Corky really owned it. And then he bought it, and all the trunks had Sammy Davis on it. And then he got not Beltrami, he got that other guy, the Greek guy, to buy the farm next to him. And then, and then I heard that when they started digging up the farms later, they found bodies all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an unbelievable story.
That was Louis Beltrami, right?
No, that was the guy with the coal mines. Yeah.
Yeah, Louis Beltrami. Yeah.
The other guy, the Greek guy who made by the farms next door, was a Greek guy. I forgot his name. He owned the big printing company. Mm-hmm. But the things that me and him got involved with, a couple of things that we got involved with business wise, could have made us very, very, very wealthy. And it was due to no fault of his or mine. They just fell apart. Someday I'll tell one of them stories where we had a shot to make ourselves $3 million a year each, and we did what we had to do. It's just that I can't say too much about that, but
didn't materialize.
Just didn't work.
Well, my Mike Gagliardi story is Mike put me down to drive a horse over at Freehold. And he told me, he said, that when you race him, he says, I don't know how to fit in this class. He says he's a horse he's got one brush. You lead with him, that's your brush. Race him from behind, that's your brush. But race him any way that you want. So I had the 7 or 8 posts with him, and I got away 7th or 8th, and we're going down. And it's one of these races that you remember the rest of your life. And so I'm sitting 8th, and everyone pulls out. Every single one pulls out. And so I just shoot up on the inside and go into the 3/4 pole. I'm now in back of the guy who is cutting the mile out and leading the race. And I just sort of passed everyone. Well, going down the stretch, I am leaning straight back. I have no place to go. I have a ton of horse, and I can win this race by 5 lengths if I get out, and I have no way of getting out. So I think I finished 4th or 5th in the race. And so when I saw Mike afterwards, I said, hey, if I would have driven him aggressively, I win this race by 5 lengths. He's 3 seconds the best of this race. Mike looks at me. He says, well, next time he races, you got 200 to win on him for yourself. So I didn't think too much of it. So I'm at the race. I'm racing at the Meadowlands one night. And so Mike's racing at the Meadowlands one night. He says, Freddie, come here. So we go into the back into the bathroom, and he hands me $1,800. He said, yeah, that horse won, and I put 200 on for you.
That was nice.
That was nice.
Yeah.
It was very tight. I didn't know him as well as you did, Larry, but Lucento was really tight with Mike.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Ronnie, last time Ron Woodbury was here, he told a story about Lucento and Gagliardi and me and Forrest Gary and the cockfights and.
Oh no!
I was surprised. It amazes me that the amount of stories that Ron knew. you know, just in general. I mean, I didn't think these things got out. There's a lot of stories I don't talk about because nobody would believe it. Like who would believe for a minute that Tommy Lucento would be? And the only reason I'm saying this is because Ronnie brought it up, that Tommy Lucento would be training cock pigeons to fight, chickens to fight.
Yeah.
And you know, and that whole story, and I think that same night I told a story about Lucien Fontaine and Forrest Gary. And that's another guy that was in the horse business that if you ever told his story, it'd be like a bestseller. He was an unbelievable guy. He was and I think I told the story once at Roosevelt Raceway. Everybody used to go in there, spend the afternoons there. They get there like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. All the drivers would come early to beat the traffic and everything. Lou Martinez's father had the barber shop.
Yeah, they play cards.
Yeah, and they would play cards. So there was just one big card player, and at all the small tables, they would be Lou Matucci playing gin. He was the best gin player there.
Gene Matucci.
But then Gene Matucci. But then they would have the big card game. And you would wait for a seat, wait for somebody to go broke and wait for a seat. So while they were waiting, Lucien and Gary would wait, and they start playing poker, you know, together, just them two, just deal the cards out, and no limit. And I was hanging out, just waiting for a seat like everybody else. And then one hand, and I'm watching this because I know that Forrest Gary don't play nothing unless he has an edge. And I'm saying, what's he going to do here with no raise? And Lucien, you couldn't scare Lucien. Lucien was fearless. And they had a no limit thing, no limit raise. You could bet whatever you want and keep going. So one hand, I raise. Finally, they ran out. All their money was in the pot, thousands and thousands of dollars. Then they start using markers. And neither one were going to give in. And finally, Lucien says, look, this will go on forever. You know, let's just call each other. So Lucien says, I got a straight flush. And,
how high?
And that's what Forrest Gary said. How high?
Yeah.
Says, I think he said Jack high, and mine is King high, and get money. And guess who dealt the cards for that hand?
Forrest Gary.
Yeah. So these are all the stories that you know you hear about. You hear about these stories about
Got two straight flushes. Huh?
They had a hole dug about 30 feet deep. I says, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "I'm going to build a swimming pool."
Yeah.
I said, "What are you doing 30 feet?" Oh God, I can't. Oh man, the stories. And then the sad stories like Benny Webster. I mean, I don't know anybody in the horse business, including Hervé Filion, that blew more money than Webster. Webster, I can't believe it, went to millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he was the kind of guy that if he met a girl and he liked her, and he spent the night with her, the next morning he went and bought her a house, you know.
Yeah.
At least the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there were some matching Cadillacs that I saw.
He's, you know, and you tell these stories, and then when I went out to California, everybody stayed at the hotel called the Cockatoo Inn or something like that, and they had no rooms there. So they says, but there's one person checking out at 3 o'clock. So I says, okay, I'll take that room. I says, look, when I take it, when it's available, just let me in. I just want to put my clothes in there, and then you can redo the room. So he checks out. I didn't know who it was. I get a phone call saying that I can go in. I think I was staying with Benny Bartola. I was in his room. So, because they all stayed there. He was with Mike Gagliardi, Benny Bartola. So they said, okay, the room's ready. and it was Benny Webster's room. So I go in there, and the bed is broke. He spent with two girls, broke the bed, and I had to wait till they put a new bed in and they cleaned the room and everything else. But that was Webster. I mean, the stories that you could tell about him were unbelievable. And the sad part is, I think the last time I saw him in person was at one of my parties. He came to. The next to the last time I saw him in person was when you were playing at that place right in Fort Lee, Trade, the French place.
Yeah.
He came in there. And the sad part is this: for a guy who went through millions and millions and millions of dollars to be working as a cashier at his girlfriend's car wash, it was so sad. So sad.
His daughter-in-law's car wash. Yeah, one night he comes and sits by me at the piano at Sonia Doro when I played there in Elmwood Park. And he comes, he's half tanked out, and he's whispering in my ear, he goes, I had a lot of money, he goes, but I blew all the money, and she left me. And he inspired a song I wrote. It's a good little song. It's called Money's Gone, She's Gone. And it's fine. You got to hear it. It's a good little song. I'll send it to you. You'll hear. Money's gone, she's gone. Money's gone, she's gone. You know, it's a good little song.
Eric wrote tribute for all the Meadowlands announcers would be great too. Tom Durkin, John Booth, Sam McKee, Dave Johnson. Oh, you can handle that, Trade. Freddie, you handle everything else.
Okay.
Joe says Dave Little and wife did a great job on YouTube handicapping the Meadowlands races Saturday. Both were very enthusiastic, knowledgeable, and entertaining. Okay.
Yeah, they're both good. You know, Debbie's interviewed me, and David has interviewed me. I think he interviewed me for the book signing, the Superfecta trial book over at the Meadowlands. I guess it was like 2 years ago, believe it or not. So,
Bob wants to know whatever happened to John Patterson. I'm sure he means John Patterson Jr.
He's down in Georgia, from what I hear.
John Patterson. He became my best friend when I brought him to my barber because he had very, very kinky hair, and it used to drive him crazy. And my barber, the barber at the Concord Hotel, he was able to straighten his hair for him. I don't know how he did it anyway. Because of that, he became my best friend. But he was a very, very, very strange guy. Very quiet, very strange. They had an incident one time where he became from very quiet and very strange to very, very deadly. But he was a nice guy, very quiet, and he's probably better off where he is now, just on a farm someplace. You never know. Here's a guy that probably weighed 130
Can you
pounds.
say a little more about that, or you can't?
Well, I can't. I could, because he didn't kill anybody, but I don't really know the whole story. I don't remember the story. But it had
I know the story, but I'm not going to talk about it. So,
all right, so we can't.
It had to
He
do with
didn't seem to be anybody to worry about, and he is.
No.
The guy weighed 120 pounds, was quiet, never said a word. But there was an incident that happened where a gun.
It involved a woman. Let's just say that. So
I'm sure. Yeah. That'll turn a guy sometimes. He was a good driver, Junior. He especially on the auto, he was good.
Freddie, will this be the last year the Hamiltonian at the Meadowlands?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I hear, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not involved with that. So, that's going to be between the Hamiltonian Society and Jeff. I mean,
no,
I don't know.
Gorell's not. He didn't put the application for it.
Yeah.
This is
All
the
right,
last
no
one.
kidding.
But
Yeah,
I don't know where it's going to end up.
It's gonna end up
I
in
do not know
Kentucky,
where it's going to end up.
Lexington?
probably.
Where?
Lexington.
Lexington? Yeah, can they handle it? I mean, like they got to do a lot of renovations to bring the Hamiltonian down there.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to sink. They're gonna have to sink millions of dollars into that place.
Well, they plan on doing that, don't they? It's not going to be for 2 years, so who knows?
Yeah, and it could end up in Woodbine, but I don't know. That it doesn't sound right going to Canada. So,
I don't see it being in Canada, no.
and then it could end out in the Midwest there too. So there are only 3 locations because it has to be on a mile track. So.
Yeah.
We could build them.
Is that written in stone? It has to be in a mile track.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's never been It's never been raced on anything but a
How
mile
about the
track.
brown jug?
It
The brown
was
jug
raced
they
on
have.
a 7/8
The
mile
brown
track.
jug they have mile
Yeah,
track.
that's
When
yeah.
Goshen was a 7/8,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
raced in Goshen.
Correct, 100%.
Right.
That was like there's one turn on that track, correct?
Yeah.
It's like a kite track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw that track when I was a kid, but I don't remember it. So.
Yeah, it's all grown over now. I've been there. I went there and I looked at it. It was all grown up with a lot of there's all shrubbery around it now. You can.
Did anybody listen? Did anybody listen to that interview? I forget what driver it was. One of the young kids today, and he was talking about how different it is driving at Saratoga or at Yonkers. Even though both of them are half-mile tracks, you have to drive different at both race tracks. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, but it was interesting to me because he said there's a big difference. You can't drive a certain way at one, you can't. And the only difference I see in the 2 racetracks is that I believe that Yonkers is more of an oval racetrack. The turns are wider and bigger, and the stretches are shorter. But I want to find. I didn't get a chance to read it, and I wanted to read it. Did any of you guys read? Why would you have to race different?
Saratoga is more circular, and where Yonkers is more of an oval.
I thought Yonkers was the other way around. I thought Yonkers had bigger, wider turns and shorter straightaways. I don't know. I don't know. I always thought Yonkers was more of a circular track than the typical half mile. I thought the turns at Yonkers were wide, were bigger, easier on a horse. But either way, I don't understand why
they were banked more.
I think he said something about you could come first over on one of them and not on the other one. And I was anxious to read, but I got another call as I was starting to read it, and then I never went back to it. But I guess none of you guys read that.
No,
that would have been interesting. No. I got to find it. All right, listen. If you guys got nothing else to talk about, I've been up again all night writing, changing the script again, writing. As far as the cap thing goes, we're going to go straight ahead. I mentioned it, I think, off air. I'm going to contact somebody, and then this will be the year where everything is going to happen, or it ain't going to happen. I mean everything, from my movie to the TV series to the skull cap to the other things. And
let's hope it does. Let's hope it does for your sake, Larry.
I really think that I'm going to put together. I've been trying to do this now, and I never did it, but I think I'm going to do it. If I'm able to put together this whole thing, this whole factory, I'm also going to put together something that I started to do years and years ago, and then I stopped doing it. And I'm gonna create a shoe, and it's gonna be like a glue-on, but it ain't gonna be the typical glue-on. It ain't gonna be an aluminum shoe. It ain't gonna, because when you think of it, every surface has its pros and cons for aluminum or for steel or for wedges or for swedges or for grabs or for corks. And I have an idea. It's not an idea. I know it's true because through the years I tried every combination, and I'm going to invent something that. In fact, I did it. I did it already. I did it on one of my horses. It happened to be a trotter. And what it is, it's not like the typical glue-on that I used to make with the fiberglass, and however it has fingers that glue to the wall of the foot.
Yeah.
And it's an aluminum shoe or a steel shoe or whatever. This is just like, how can I explain it? Let's say you take a piece of heavy sandpaper, right? Heavy sandpaper, and just cut out the form of a shoe with just a little. All right, just cut the form of a shoe. So now you have a piece of sandpaper cut into the form of a shoe, and now you put a couple of tabs on it, or just a sleeve that comes up, and you glue that to the bottom of the sole, right where the wall is, and to just a half-inch up on the thing. And so it's not connected to an aluminum shoe or nothing. It's just like it's just like, how can I explain it? It's not aluminum and it's not steel. It has no grabs. It has no swedges. It has nothing. It's just like racing a horse the way they should be raced. But they can't, because standardbreds race on a billboard racetrack, thoroughbreds race on dirt, and both of them need some kind of helping situation.
Right.
What this would do, it would eliminate, because in my opinion, and I said this once on the show, if you went to, there's 1,000 horses that's stable at Belmont Park. If you went to every one, I guarantee you, out of the 1,000 horses, every one I could find a nail that's close or quick in them that would have a problem once they're running that.
Right.
So, in other words, I would eliminate the whole shoe and the whole nail, and protect the foot, and create a grab situation for horses that need it on the billboard racetrack, and so if I build this company with the blinkers, I can create that, and one or two other things I have that would improve the well-being, the safety of the thoroughbred and standardbred racehorse. Because what a lot of people don't know and don't realize is that even the difference in artificial dirt and grass and regular dirt and the standardbred track, the billboard racetrack,
Stone dust,
whether it be stone dust or light or whatever it might be, the horse will always be better off racing as close to being barefooted as they could. You eliminate contracted heels, you eliminate quarter cracks, you eliminate all the problems they have, and the biggest problem is them getting quicked. And that's why I said it last week, I think, that the thoroughbred trainers, I always used to ask, well, why are you making these appointments? The horse is in the go. Why are you making appointments the day before or the morning of the race? And their answer is because that the nails, even though the thoroughbred nails are half the size in length and thickness as the standardbred nails, the walls on the thoroughbreds are so thin, and there's really no place. If you take a shoe off a thoroughbred, you'll see there's really no place to put a good solid nail. And that's where they go from 3 nails to 4 nails to 5 nails to 6 nails to 8 nails, and they start cheating. They go back to the live part of the foot. They go, and that's the problem. So the no nails will help every horse in either division of racing, and I can create that where a horse would never have to have a nail, and you don't have to worry about and I can create the argument for why you shouldn't use aluminum, why you shouldn't use swedges, why you shouldn't use. Now there's pros and cons about everything, but you got to remember there's arguments on both sides that most lamenesses are caused by slipping and sliding, not by grab.
Right.
So now, but so if it's 70-30, you eliminate the slipping and sliding, which is 70%. You eliminate the 30%, which is grab, because now you have neither one. So you eliminate that whole problem. If I say 100 horses, I could find nails. If you took an X-ray of every horse that's stable at every racetrack, every thoroughbred racetrack, I'm not talking about standardbreds, I'm talking about thoroughbreds. You took an X-ray of the foot of every one of them horses, you would see nails that are dangerously close or on the live part of the foot.
Yeah.
You eliminate all of that. I can create that without using the steel shoe. Now, the reason they use a steel shoe with the standardbreds mostly is because most of the aluminum shoes are running horse plates. They just place with the grab. With the standardbreds, you use the grab. The swedge is what fills up with dirt, and that's what creates the. If you want a little bit more, a little bit less, and sometimes with trotters it works best, a little bit less grab, so they slide a little bit more behind. You would eliminate the swedge, because it's a swedge that fills up with dirt that creates the grab. Dirt to dirt creates a grab.
Right.
So I eliminate all the problems. And really, if you say what's the pros and cons of an aluminum shoe, there really is none. I mean, I could argue against either one. Why when the Meadowlands first opened, every horse that went there in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, early 70s, every horse wore steel shoes.
Yeah.
And now every horse wears aluminum shoes. Well, so we can get into conversations. Why did that switch happen? I know why it happened at the Meadowlands. The reason they say is because in the beginning, the Meadowlands racetrack was kind of deep. It was kind of deep and very cuppy, and they needed more of a grab. Now,
I was there when the Meadowlands first opened, and we had ice patches in the stretch. I mean, like if you were in the 4 and 5 post over there, there's like certain spots that it was just all ice over there. I had switched most of my horses to boreum over there because of that fact, and it was just. Go ahead.
You see what happens now? It's very much like when a horse is a 2-year-old. All right, so now you're breaking them. So now comes January, February, you're going miles and around 20, 25, 15, wherever you're going. Okay. And you have everything adjusted where he's going just right. How many trainers at that point let the head check out and the hobbles out every month based on the way the horse is growing?
The growth of the horse, yeah.
Hardly any. So what I'm saying is that they changed from steel to aluminum because of the track condition, but they never switched back after the track was improved. They never switched back. Not only that, but because for some reason now even the stone dust racetracks, Yonkers, all the half-mile tracks that were horses their whole life raced on with aluminum shoe with steel shoes, because all the top horses at the Meadowlands were going to aluminums. Everybody switched to aluminums, even the half-mile track. Now probably, and I don't know this for sure because I've been out of it for so long, probably 90% of the horses that race now race with aluminum shoes. And if you ask the trainer, well, I shouldn't say this, but what's the difference? What's the reason? What holds more on a stone dust racetrack, the steel or the aluminum? It all depends. Does the steel have a swedge? Does the aluminum? If they're both flat, what holds more? The aluminum would hold more on the stone dust racetrack. Now, do you want the horse to hold more? And it gets so involved. But I have, once you eliminate once you eliminate all of that, them questions and the answers, and you eliminate all of that, which I could do with this one thing that I can create, which I already tried on my one horse. And how I did it was, I'll tell you how I did it. I grinded up a bunch of steel. The blacksmith helped me. We grinded up a bunch of old shoes, just got a bunch of steel and turned it into a powder. Okay. Then what we did was we got some glue and we put glue all around.
You dipped their hoof in it, right?
And then and then just sprinkled all this what would they call it? Steel dust.
Yeah.
Sprinkle that all around just the wall of the foot, not on the sole, just the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like maybe 1/8 of an inch of glue, right? And then you take the steel that we grinded up, and you sprinkle it all. Now after it's dry, you look at it, and all you have is this little steel mesh going all around, and that's all you need. You don't have to worry about contracted heels. You don't have to worry about being quick. You don't have to worry about too much grab. You don't have to worry about nothing. And it's simple. It's safe. You don't have to worry about, especially with the thoroughbreds. I understand. You don't have to worry about ever catching a shoe. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little crooked going in the first turn.
It happens a lot.
Racer will grab a shoe and down they go. I don't know if it still happens, but that used to happen a lot. And then all of a sudden you go into the blacksmith and say, look, fit him close on the inside because he keeps crossfiring and grabbing that shoe. And before you know it, you're fucking up. You're screwing everything up. Okay. But, well, what the hell was what was I going to say? But it would really change a lot. And you'll notice that if you do that, all the horse, and that's the thing that the first thing I used to do whenever I got a trotter that wouldn't trot for whatever reason, I would just take mostly the back shoes. Just take the back shoes off and let him wear them how he wants.
Natural, yeah.
However he wants to wear. Now, a lot of people will say, "Why you can't do that? You got to have a level foot because the bones are." Yeah, but what happens if the fucking horse's bone, the leg is not perfectly straight?
Right. Not level.
You want a natural angle.
You can't have a foot that's perfectly level if the fucking leg is bowed. You got more trouble that the bone is. I don't explain it right. I just know. Anyway, this eliminates all of that grabbing and stuff and lower them on the inside and lower them on the outside. And it's so simple. It's so simple that
it protects the horse and they have a natural angle.
Yeah. And you'll notice that their whole, especially with the thoroughbreds, their whole gait changes. A lot of these things, when you see them climbing like this, they're climbing like that for especially near the end of the mile. When you're coming down the stretch, you see these things. They're losing their action. Now, they lose their action for a number of reasons. One is they're not conditioned properly, which is probably the last of the reasons. The other reason is they got some kind of lameness problem. Now, if you can't find the lameness problem, it's probably in the foot, which is where 99% of the problems originate from. That turn into they think that the problem that's created by having a quick or a quarter crack or a bad foot, that creates probably the other leg something bad to happen.
They're protecting themselves.
Yeah, they're protecting that. This one I'm doing solves all of that problem, and you'll see that the horse's gait changes and everything. Just eliminate the nails. Now, the only way to eliminate the nails today is with, and the guy that does is the best is Ian McKinley, is with glue-on shoes. And I put glue-ons in almost every thoroughbred I ever had with great success. And Mike McCarthy, the leading rider in Delaware, who's retired now, whose son Trevor just retired, is a leading rider. He bought that horse from Alan Jerkins. They couldn't get him to the races as a 4-year-old. Oh, had all quarter cracks and everything else. I put all 4 glue-ons on, and the horse won his first 4 races. And that. So I did all. Now I'm looking to even perfect that even more, because now you eliminate all the extra stuff. the weight of the shoe, the rim pad, the other pads that go underneath, the fingers that go. I eliminate all of that and just clean the foot up. Just sprinkle the glue, put the glue right on the wall itself.
Rest the foot and dip it.
Just sprinkle the gold dust right around there. It's going to last just as long as a shoe, and that's it. And then whenever, if you have to, and they probably stay on for a month or a month and a half, and then by that time, all you have to do is probably just rasp it off, and that's it. So I could, and that would definitely benefit a horse, because anybody that wants to challenge me, just pick any horse out. Go to the barn area, pick any horse out. I don't care whose barn, pick any horse out. I'll have a vet there in the barn with an x-ray machine, and we'll x-ray each foot. Bring any horse you want, and I guarantee you,
without a doubt,
there's 8 nails, especially with the thoroughbreds. There's 8 nails in each shoe on each foot.
And they're close to the quick.
At least one nail.
They're close to the quick.
Or right into the live part of the foot. That when they check them in the morning and they run them up and down the shed row, sure, they're running on 3-4 inches of cushion and everything, and they just jog them. But once you put the weight on them and they're on the racetrack and everything else, and they're going at high speed, everything starts to shift. And because them shoes are never on solid like they are with the standardbred, the shoe starts to shift a little. Once they start to shift, the nails shift right into the live part of the foot. There are more. If you went into the thoroughbred first turn at any thoroughbred racetrack,
a lot of shoes.
You'll find hundreds of shoes that the harrows just keep digging up. They're all over the place, and they just it's unbelievable. So I'm going to invent that. There's really nothing to invent. It's just very simple. It's very simple. I don't even know how to patent something like that. You'd have to make some kind of special glue. And you know what would do it? Probably great crazy glue. Just put it on, sprinkle the stuff on, and that's it. It's done.
You need something a little more durable than that.
Yeah, well, that would be the patented thing, whatever that magic glue would be.
Yeah, something I would weatherproof and durable.
A one-page statement why
some
you
kind of epoxy mixed with the metal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Even mix it together.
Yeah.
Mix it together, and then just get a little spoon or a little wooden thing and just put it on. Hold the foot up. Get the quick drying stuff. Hold the foot up.
You could actually dip the hoof right into it and hold it up until it dries.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. We can't talk about somebody.
Hey, Larry. Before you close the show out, are there any more questions for us?
Let's see. I don't know. I stopped looking because let's see. Drivers who passed away. We did that one. Little Dave, we did that one. What happened to John? We did that one. Thank you. Freddie, will this be the last year that we did that one? Joe, why was the Hamiltonian winner allowed? Why was the Hambo winner allowed an equipment change, shoes off, when he won his elimination? That's a good question. I don't know. Does anybody know? I don't know.
Why was the Hammer winner allowed an equipment change, shoes off?
No, they pulled the shoes for the final.
I used to do that a lot. I did that not a lot, but with 2 or 3 trotters, I'd pull the shoes behind right before they went to the gate.
I mentioned this a couple of maybe 6 months ago, and people said I was nuts. But I know I remember this. They used to check the shoes on the horse. They used to, what kind of shoes you have. You had to pick the horse's foot up and say, it's shoe change.
They did years ago, Larry, but not like, that was like up till maybe the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was, yeah. I'm talking about when I was doing my thing in the 70s. They was time when they changed shoes. And if you won a race and you couldn't make a change. So
it was right on the equipment card. It was right on the equipment card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that. Why was the Hambo winner allowed an equipment change? I don't know. But just like Joe, I raced many horses. I'd score them down. I'd warm them up and everything and score them down and pull the shoes just
right before they went to the gate. A minute before the race,
just pull the shoes
they'd
off.
come back and we pull the shoes.
There, just pull the shoes off, whether it be the front shoes or the back shoes. Just pull them off. It worked terrific with that pounded their knees terrible. You just pull the shoes off. Didn't always work, but I mean sometimes. Okay, Larry, why don't you run for president? Can't be worse than Trump. Uh-oh. Freddie, you ever write a book? Well, Freddie wrote 3 or 4 books.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's all the questions. That's it. Anybody else got anything to say? We've been on for almost 2 hours.
I didn't know Freddie was a bookmaker.
Freddie wrote a couple of good books. See, that's another thing. That's another thing that bothers me. When somebody's supporting the business and everything else, and nobody supports the guy that's supporting the business, it's just terrible. I don't want to get into it because I get angry, and I do what I could do, but I can't do it all, and it just gets me angry. That's why sometimes I'm better off. It's tough when your whole life you work for yourself. Your whole life, you're your own boss, and you did everything. Nobody ever had to tell you what to do. You did everything yourself, and
that's me.
And my mother always said that. I used to get very mad when I was a kid. My mother says, "Don't expect everybody to be like you, because they're not." And it's so true. The only good thing that happens, leading the kind of life that I led, and Freddie and Joe and Eddie, not so much Trade, because Trade was extremely talented. Trade had a unique talent. Trade just had a talent as a musician and as a singer, a songwriter. When we were starving to death, Trade was making millions of dollars writing commercials.
Yeah, I was very lucky. Listen, it's Trade. You got to be in the right place at the right time too. It doesn't matter how much talent you've got.
But the good thing about it is that you, through the years, going through what guys like me, Freddie, and Joe went through, and Eddie, you don't wind up with 3,000 friends, but the friends you wind up with, they're real friends. They're the real deal.
They're solid.
They're solid. Because there were many times after '86. The guys that used to send jet helicopters for me, they wouldn't even pick up the phone no more.
Yeah.
You learn who all these people are. And even though every one of us, I'm sure, and I'm basically talking about myself now, but I'm sure you've been through it. Not Trade, but the other 2 guys and Eddie. You've been through it, taking advantage of the only people that would let you take advantage of them time after time after time after time. And them are the people that stick with you. And thank God, I've been lucky enough. There's still 2 people, there's 3 people really in the whole world that helped me out a lot that I didn't pay back. And one of them people is on the screen right now, with the hat on with the sunglasses. I was in trouble one time, and I asked Trade.
I didn't think you remembered, Larry, and I never bothered you. I never bothered you for the money,
And he gave me a considerable amount of money, and I never paid him back, and I never was in a position to pay him back, and then naturally we just through the years I got out of the business, and this and that and everything happened, but there was a period of time I was in a lot of trouble, and he was one of the guys that I went to. And without question, he gave me, what do you need? He gave it to me and never asked for it back. And then 10, 15, 20 years went by where I was out of the state. I wasn't even around. And then this is the first time I'm seeing Trade in a long time. And I think I even remember the amount. I'm not going to say it, but if something good happens to me with one of these projects, I just want you to know I didn't forget. But you wind up with.
Well, listen, you came to the club. You came to the club so many times. You spent a lot of money at the club to see me, and I appreciate that. You made up for a little bit of that stuff. Don't worry.
Well, anyway, I just want you to know I appreciate it back then. All of these things every day. It turned out to be. It's not that you just needed the money. It was life saving. It was life saving.
Yeah.
We got into desperate situations.
I ran out of gas. It wasn't nothing like that. It
wasn't $20 for gas. It was big numbers.
So but them are when you live that kind of life, them are the people that you wind up with. And I was lucky enough through a lot of the years to make it up to most of them that happened to be around during some certain spots where I made a score or something and I paid back. Unfortunately, trade is one of the 2 or 3 that are left that wasn't around whenever I was able to pay. But
thanks. Yeah. Listen, I appreciate you even talking about it, Larry. But I don't even think about it anymore. And man, I was glad I was able to help. And I'm that kind of guy anyway. I help everybody. Like I'm one of those guys. So, but I'm happy that it worked out.
Well, I just want you to know I didn't forget.
Thanks.
Okay, that's it. I just wanted to mention that at the end I have a phone book here, and just like Joe Murata said when he picked me up that day, that he was the one that was with me when I had to eliminate 2,000 people from my Christmas list. And he says, all you need for your true friends is a table. This table, we're at a table in Angelo's restaurant. There was a table for 4. He says, all you would need for your true friends is a table like this, and they might be 1 seat empty. Well, I'm lucky in that. I have friends where I'd need a very, very large table for the true friends that helped me and stuck with me through the worst times of my life. And that includes my relatives too. I have an unbelievable family, and I'm talking about considerable sums of money during years that were in the 60s and 70s that were very, very, very tough years. And when I remember my father during them years was making $38 a week. I think that was his take-home pay. During them years, people were giving me their life savings. So I got lucky, and I'm still friends. In fact, there's one girl, and I'm going to mention this because she sent me a letter. I should have it. She says to me, that she watches the show, and she says, I just want you to know I was always in love with you. And I don't mean in a romantic way. She worked for me for a long time. I'm going to tell you who it is. And she says, you are the most genuine, generous person I know. And I thank you very much for your friendship through the years and everything else.
That's nice.
That girl was Dolores Macedonia, D. Her name is D. That's Dolores. When I was in trouble and I just got my license back, I had no money. I borrowed the $60,000 that I had to pay to get my license back. One of them brown envelopes that's the way the world is. Anyway, I got somebody to give me a couple of horses. It was at the Meadowlands. And I had no money, and I was doing everything myself. And she called me up one day, and she says, I heard that you have a couple of horses. She says, who's working for you? I says, it's only 3 horses. I'm doing it myself. She came down from Monticello every day, and helped me with the 3 horses, got back in the car, and drove back to Monticello every day for a year. And then when I would try to pay her, she wouldn't take the money. Just get back on your feet. This is the girl that wrote me saying how what a nice man I was, how generous, and I was the most generous person. And here's a girl that worked for me for nothing for a year and drove 200 miles a day for no money to do it. These are the kind of people you wind up with, and that's how lucky I am.
That's a friend.
Yeah,
That is.
and I hope Dee is listening now. And I'm only sorry I didn't ever thought in a million years I would be talking about this. Otherwise, I'd pull it up on my thing. So anyway, Dee, I thank you for your friendship. She's married now. I don't know where she lives, but she's friends with me on Facebook, and that's what she said. And maybe if she's not listening, maybe she can come in and just verify that story that she did.
Larry, was she married to Dominic?
Dominic was a brother.
Macedonia.
Okay.
Dominic was a father. Dominic Macedonia was her father.
Okay.
Yeah, and her brother wind up dying. I forgot his name. I thought his name was
Carmine.
Carmine. Yeah, he died. Good looking kid. He died young. And the father
talented driver too. Talented.
Yeah.
So.
And her father owned the Ponderosa, but she was just a good kid. She used to cry every time, like when Sundance, who's always on here, Sundance worked for me at the same time. Whenever I used to go nuts at the barn, Dee would always, if I got upset, Dee would cry. Sundance would tell you, I wish Sundance was on it. She would tell you, Dee would cry if I got upset about anything. So if I ever had to do something nasty, I had to do it when Dee wasn't there.
I ended up at the Ponderosa. Oh gosh, I don't remember what year it was. I was like 17, 18, something like that. With 5 horses there. That's where I met Jimmy Marone, Joe Rico, John Barchi was there. It was just like a really strange crew that was over there, and that's where I met them when we met when we were kids. I mean, so going back a long time ago.
John Barchi.
Father owned it. Well, that was the place where the guys that couldn't get stalls at Monticello.
Right. I just mentioned a bunch of names that we couldn't get stalls at Monticello at that time.
The Misfit Training Center.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's all. Let me see another. Wait a minute.
Everybody, Happy New Year. Have a healthy Happy New Year.
I'll get one thing.
Yeah, you too.
What's it say? Maybe Madani will play.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Eric, Larry Cox, you think the nation was better shape? Okay, that's enough. All right. So, thanks for
a Biden fan. He's a Biden fan. Right?
I take the 5th.
I'm gonna show you. Let me see. Hold it. Let me show you something. I want to see if I can. Maybe you could see it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this.
Oh yeah, you said that to me. Larry, you sent that to me before.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them things out.
I sent it to a couple of people. Anyway, thank you, folks, for coming on. Freddie, don't forget Thursday, I think Ronnie Pierce is back and I think Gregory Peck helped him fix his computer, so he should be on with Billy O'Donnell and Greg Peck and me.
I'll be watching.
Fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. So Trey, thanks for coming on. Freddie,
thank you, Larry.
And I'll see you.
All right.
I'll talk to you.
All right, guys. Good
Okay,
night.
guys.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Hey, good night, everyone.
I'll be in touch, Larry.
Good night, Freddie.